Hey guys, this is Tyler and Colton from MidwestGaming, and we've been playing Overwatch for the past couple days.
Yes, we have.
And what a couple days
game.
It's been. Yeah, I will say I'm so freaking excited for this to come out. I'm really sad it's going away Monday.
I know, but I am glad that the open beta kind of came to console too, and not just strictly PC.
I'm really, when we were deciding to do the video, I was like really trying hard to find a bunch of any negative point I can make about it. If you want a negative thoughts on, this is not the video for that. We both love the game, and
you gotta kind of take the game with the grain of salt, because any problems you have, it's still in beta. Whatever gets hashed out before it comes out. Yeah. For all we know, things can change.
Yeah, I honestly do think that this open beta was more of a beta for the server more than the game itself. I feel like, from what I've read online, that this is basically going to be the game. They were just making sure that the servers were running correctly. Which, yeah, you don't want to launch a game and the servers be crap. You don't want a Diablo 3 incident. Oh, that's so ironic. This is a Blizzard game.
Or Halo. What is it? The Halo Master Chief Collection.
Oh yeah.
The multiplayer server was down for first month or so.
Yeah.
That they had to get new free DLC of full games that they were originally going to make a paid DLC. So you got to kind of hand it to Blizzard here on using the beta to test out their servers.
Yeah, true. Let's see how it handles and everything. And I think what we first need to talk about here is it's obviously a first-person shooter, but the characters themselves, they have abilities, and that's an interesting take on things. There's 4 different classes. There's an assault class, there's a defense class, there's a tank class, and there's a support class.
Reminiscent of a MOBA.
This is its own thing, to be honest. It's definitely objective. It's a first-person shooter that's very objective-driven. The only thing that even somewhat, that can be compared to would maybe be Team Fortress 2 is my best comparison for it. And even then, it's not a great comparison.
No, but it's probably as close as you're gonna get, because there's not anything, to my knowledge, out on console. I don't know about PC. It's type of game.
Oh, this is
similar to a MOBA, but it's PvP and not PvE.
Yeah, this is legit. Especially on console, there is no first-person shooter like this. I think it's so refreshing. Everyone's pretty much tired of Call of Duty. That's run its course. And it's good to see a first-person shooter like this that's coming from a completely different idea. And you actually brought something up, right before we started this video that I think is really interesting about Treyarch.
So I came across an article on, I think it's Segment Next, and basically it's talking about how, since Blizzard had no experience making a first-person shooter, they actually went to Treyarch and took some aid from them to help create Overwatch. Now, I don't know, it doesn't go into exactly what Treyarch did.
Yeah, it doesn't tell
how
you
much aid was given or anything.
What the extent of their aid is. But it's an interesting thing, because a lot of first-person shooters that aren't Call of Duty or not Halo, the new Doom game, the biggest thing I hear about that is, it's more like Call of Duty or Halo than a Doom game. A lot of companies are taking, are looking at the numbers okay, what's the biggest selling first-person shooter? Oh, it's Call of Duty. We'll just copy and paste what they're doing. Obviously, there's something in there. And this is not doing that. It is in a way, and I'm going to get to that right now, actually. what Call of Duty does that makes it so popular isn't any of the gameplay itself. It's that it's so casual friendly. You can just jump into the game, you know, not play it for months, not even, you know, as long as you played a console game before, you can jump in and you can have fun. It's very accessible. Anyone can play it. And this is kind of like that, but in a different sense. I'm not saying the game's like no skill, there's no skill involved. No, there's actually I think there's a pretty high skill ceiling on this game. When you're playing, you can't see your teammates' stats. The fact that
there's no mini-map.
Yeah, a lot of the game is less, you know, you're doing bad, or, you know, it doesn't like throw it in everybody's face that, oh, I'm like 0-15, I'm not doing anything. It doesn't do that.
It helps too that the level design is linear. I mean, it's not some huge ass map that you'd find on like a Call of Duty where someone could hang out in the far corner.
Yeah.
And based on how the game modes are, it makes people move to certain points, so it basically kind of initiates firefight.
Yeah, true. And so I played the PC version and the Xbox version. You only played the Xbox version. One thing I will say, the Xbox port is really fucking good. Really good. Like, it's 60 frames per second. You know, 60 frames per second. It's 1080p. There are some companies that make just console games that can't seem to make a game that runs better than 30 FPS on a console. Blizzard, who makes mostly PC games, did that. What are these other people's excuse? I will applaud them to death for that. And I've been somewhat cynical towards Blizzard in the past. And by past, I mean Diablo 3. But, you know, they did a great job on this. And can I just say that the PC option menu is beautiful. I mean, just the, okay, so the video thing, like, there's a field of view slider, there's an aspect ratio that goes from, you know, 6.9, 6.10, VSync, on or off, triple buffering, on, off. I want that off. Get away. Limited FPS, which is cool, like that it's an option to do. Like, you can, for some reason, if you want to cap it at 30 FPS, you can totally do that. I don't know why you would want to do that, but you can. And then there's an then there's graphic quality, high, low, medium, ultra, epic, blah, blah, blah. And then there's an advanced option that you can, you know, click and really go into detail on it, like, okay, render scale, texture quality, filtering quality, fog detail, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, a bunch of shit. And I will say, I don't have the most powerful computer ever. Up here you can see I have a 760 graphics card, I got an i7 processor, but I only have like 16 gigs of RAM. You know, I would not say that my computer is something that no one can own. Like, you could probably buy a fucking stock computer better than this one. And I ran this game at high quality, and I was getting like 80 FPS. 100 FPS when I wasn't in a fight. It dropped to 80, but I was also recording, so I'm not sure how that affected it. So it's a very well optimized game, both on console and I would say on PC. Like, there's nothing I can say that's bad about that.
That's the other thing that I actually really like, is that when you get into a firefight, your FPS just doesn't completely tank off, you know, off the face of the map to where it's incredibly noticeable.
Yeah.
Because every game mode that you end up playing in, it's not going to be a 1v1 fight. It's going to be a team fight. I mean, it's not like you're going off on your own to take out the team. It ends up being everyone in one spot. And if the frame rate were to just crash, I mean, I couldn't even imagine how bad that would look when sometimes you have full teams going at it.
Yeah, and we haven't even touched on one of the biggest mechanics of this game. Yes, all the characters have abilities. You know, they have Most of them have like 2 abilities, and then, you know, their main weapon, blah blah blah, and an ultimate that you have to charge up. Well, you can change your character in the middle of the game as many times as you want, you know.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when you're playing, I mean, I think we played a game last night where we got into it, and all of a sudden we had our 3 other teammates all decided to be Tracer.
Yes, that was the thing.
And the other really cool thing about being able to switch characters like that is when you go to switch, it lets you know what your team is lacking.
Yes, that's a huge deal.
An offensive, or it just tells you have way too many of one character, like what our case was.
Yeah, way too much offense.
Yeah. But that's just a cool mechanic, because you can switch if, for whatever, at the start of the game, you pick an offensive character, and everything's going great, but your team gets pushed back. You can switch to a tanky character or a more defensive-minded character and kind of hunker down and stop something from being escorted in or protect a point. You're not, you know, pigeonholed into one class.
Yeah, true. And another really important thing to say about this, you know, you have all these heroes, right, and you can switch. Well, how much does it, you know, how much does this game cost? It's a $60 game, and you get all the characters from the start. I'm glad they went that route instead of going free to play and having you, you know, try to buy all the characters through in-game currency or some shit, or, you know, like, the main mechanic of the game is, hey, you can switch characters in the middle of the game to whatever your team needs. What is the easiest way to destroy, to destroy that? Not having all the characters available.
And the thing is even if, you know, you're a tank, the tanks each play differently. Pretty a wide variety of skills that, you know, you could be a tank and have something that, you know, another tank has, you know, doesn't have, like a personal shield.
Yeah, like, what, I think Reinhardt? Yeah, Reinhardt has that. Honestly, my favorite tank is Roadhog. Dude, there's nothing more satisfying than just hooking someone, bringing them into you, and then, like, shotgun right to the face. It really isn't. That's
kind of the interesting thing, is, I mean, what you kind of said right there is, like, Reinhardt seems more of a defensive tank in the fact that he has a personal shield, but Roadhog can pull enemies into him and obliterate them with a shotgun.
Yeah, like, he's, like I said, he's definitely my favorite tank. Another thing that, like, if you're just jumping into the game, okay, a tanky character, you will get fooled by how much health you have. You really will.
You will.
You'll think, dude, I have like 600 health, you know, the assault characters only have 200. I can just walk up here and do whatever the hell I want. No.
Oh, it melts.
You will die very fast, and you will be surprised at how fast you die. It really is.
It's just absurd.
Yeah, it really is deceptive. One thing I haven't noticed, and we haven't played like a ton by any stretch of the imagination, I haven't noticed any character that's blatantly overpowered or, you know, is just stupid strong. You know, I think everything's somewhat balanced, but again, that might just be because we're still playing with people who've just jumped into this open beta. You know, like, everyone's trying to play as much as possible, play as many characters as possible.
You know, people that are learning the characters just like we are, but nothing yet has popped up overpowered. I mean, there's a couple, you know, I don't know if I'd say situations, but like, I think it's, I don't even remember the
I feel like
name.
some characters are definitely really good in certain situations. Obviously, the defensive characters are really good when you're trying to defend a point. You know, but I will say that the support characters, are awesome. They really are. I haven't really played that many, but like, when I was playing Xbox, no one was playing a support character. When I played the PC version, there was a support character almost every match, And they completely won the game for us. They would revive people who died. There was one that was just like legit constantly healing me. They win games, like there's no question about that. I think it would be interesting watching people who have been playing, you know, the whole closed beta and have like a really good feel for everything. You know, watching them play or listening to their thoughts on it.
Yeah, and I'm kind of intrigued to see if this game kind of becomes, you know, a major part of esports.
I think it can. I do think that there is a lot of team, you know, a lot of team synergy that goes into this. I can definitely see this being a game, you know, an esports game.
Well, and yeah, because a lot of this, or at least in the game, you can't really go off by yourself.
No, if you go off by yourself, you're pretty much guaranteeing that you're going to die.
Yeah, I mean, like in other shooters like Call of Duty and Halo, you can go off by yourself and be fine. But this, if you go off by yourself, the likelihood that someone comes up behind you through an ability or you run into their whole team, that's a very good possibility. And you will watch your health disappear.
Yeah. I do think this game is going to be one of those games that's going to appeal to both the casual gamer and the hardcore gamer. You know, both of those groups are going to find a home here.
Yeah, I feel like, at least from my perspective, because I was excited. Well, okay, I wasn't really excited when I saw the ads for this game, but the more I play it, the more excited I am for this release. And you'll get those people that are, you know, oh, I'm not going to play it, I strictly play Call of Duty or Halo, that might not give it a shot. But
or even like people on PC, like, oh, I only play MOBAs, I'm all about League of Legends. Yeah, anyone who's not sure if they want to play this game or if it's even worth their time, please play it. Like, you have no idea. I was kind of in the same boat as you. I was like, okay, it's really hyped. I guess I'll play it and see what it's about, but I didn't have high expectations. No matter how many people said how good it was that were in the closed beta. I've had a blast, man. I really have.
I know.
Like,
it's been so much fun. And the thing is it's like, you know, it's a colorful world. The characters are interesting.
Yeah.
And just the gameplay is so much fun. It's actually relatively fast-paced because...
Oh, it's super fast-paced. Especially if you're like me and you're used to playing MOBAs like Smite, League of Legends, and Dota 2. I play Dota 2 and Smite more than I play League, to be honest. But you know what I mean. It is really fast-paced. You just jump in and you go.
And once it kicks off, like once the two teams meet, that's like it. It just is a constant firefight.
Yeah, and you know, I had a game in which you know, I do have gameplay of it. It's probably going to be in the finished video here, but we went into overtime, and it was just a freaking drag-out fight. It went on forever. It might have been longer than the actual game itself, and it was so freaking tense. And we ended up winning, and it was one of the most satisfying wins I've ever had in any game. Hands down. And at that point, I was like, I love this game. I was hooked right then.
Well, it gives you kind of that, like, adrenaline rush when either you're on the side that's going to win or lose, and then all of a sudden, overtime pops up, and you're like, I still got a chance.
Yes, that's really is a game changer, man.
I know, it doesn't just end.
Yeah. You know, we could probably go on for freaking ever about this. I think this is a good place to end it. Obviously, we're going to talk about it again when it comes out. But thank you guys for watching the video. This has been Tyler and Colton. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time.
Peace out.